What is up? How's it going? Let's see who's in chat. Alfarius, Miku, Zacharias, hello. How's it going? What are you guys up to? I will be finishing up these two Forge friends, Forge fiends, so as not to sow confusion. What remains? Rimming the bases. I suppose that could be done on stream. I don't think it's that exciting. I want to put a little detail into this Ultramarines door, brighten it up a little bit, so it is more distinct as an Ultramarines door rather than a Crimson Fist door. And I have a helmet on the other base tucked away somewhere. Other than that, I think it's the fangs, some edge highlighting with Toxic Mist from Army Painter right here, and maybe a layer of Hex Wraith. We'll see. We'll see how crazy we feel. And beyond that, I don't think too much. So, you know, depending how quickly that goes, might have a shorter stream today. That's true. Alfarius may not be here, but I appreciate the sentiment. I think I'll start with the edge highlighting on the fangs. And then we'll work our way to the Ultramarine base. Or the Rhino door, and I think a Phobos helmet on the other base. So I'm thinking... Just, it's a fairly stark highlight here, because it is on the black or near black with the Incubi Darkness there, but hopefully it turns out for the better. We shall see. A little bit of experimentation on stream today. Getting freaky. This track reminds you of Sims 1. Maybe it's from Sims 1. It's a video game playlist, link in chat. Just relaxing, jazzy music. Jazzy video game music part 2. Link in chat if you're interested. You know, check it out, give it a like, give the channel a subscribe if you like it, all that. All the options are there. Too bad it's not raining right now. This would be quite a mood. You're getting a TV today, eh, Miku? So you can watch series and work at the same time? Right on. I'm liking how messy that application was. What's up, Tremari? How's it going? Thanks for dropping by. Beans, though. If that is a reference, it's way over my head. I'm finding these edges a little undefined at times, depending on the angle of the model. Maybe it's a mold making limitation, or a result of a mold making limitation. But sometimes the edges aren't as pronounced. So much easier on like a Rhino or something. Got those 90-degree edges. Guess I should hit these side fangs, huh? Must not neglect the baby tooth. Hope your minis don't melt in this heat. Yep, that's not something I'd wish upon anyone. Definitely a big risk for the resin models, right? I've heard quite a few horror stories about Hierophants just going weak in the knees. I was gonna say, I was gonna say that, you know what, let's just get one of these Forge Fiends Edge Highlighted and Hex Wraithed for the Ectoplasma Fangs first, because I want to test and see how it looks. And now I'm realizing, oh, maybe I should have done that with just one cannon. Yeah, sometimes you get lost along the way. Okay, I want to clean up whether or not I change my mind on this edge highlighting look. This has to get cleaned up, or at least toned down. Okay, let's try a bit of this Hex Wraith on those fangs. See if between the Incubi Darkness, making things a little bit brighter, and the edge highlighting, if it yields a cool tint. Definitely having an effect, so I don't know if it's maybe too subtle for camera. It's possible. Could certainly be the case. Oh, the question is it better with or without? I suppose it's better with. We'll do it. We'll commit. There's our little Phobos helmet tucked away in there. Oh, this is certainly a jazzy playlist. I kind of like it a bit more low tempo, to be honest. It's quite possible, Zacharias, that it might have been Mario Kart. Usually the background component of these playlist videos changes to reflect the game it's from, but it doesn't seem to be the case on this one. Miku's asking, what could he curate today? Space Marines, Chaos Space Marines, and NIDS are done. That's a good question. Maybe some Eldar from the Eldar Alliance. Or Orcs. Two very classic and important factions. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Getting sloppy with the, I'll get my brush cleaner. Sounds, very Bayonetta-esque. Well, you know what, Zacharias? If you're enjoying the high tempo music, I'm perfectly cool with that. Maybe it's track dependent for myself. pretty slow news week for 40k, right? All the focus is on the Skaven Tide release. Oh, this is my jam right here. This sounds like an Atlas game. Actually, I'm gonna go get my brush cleaner. I'll BRB. I have returned. What's up, Verado? Waiting for Blood Angels and Jirai Zacharias. Is that confirmed? Or is that the rumor? That's very interesting. Generally, I feel like GW just can't help but focus on Dark Angels or Blood Angels around Christmas time. So I just assume... I just assume that they'll be featured around then. Yes, Verado. I put a rune in the butthole. On the other guy, I left him different. Just to give this guy his own unique little bit of iconography. Wolves or Blood Angels next? Makes sense. I'm curious about this Agents of the Inquisition business as well, because that could potentially see Grey Knights or Deathwatch, depending on how they go about it. I can feel what you're laying out there, Verado, but I'm not optimistic about the Space Wolves getting a range refresh. I think Leland Russ will probably come out at some point, and you'll get a few more accompanying units. But barring the remake of characters, it seems like GW has... It seems like they feel Primaris serves all Space Marines as a range update. For better or for worse. I get that impression anyways. I think the Blood Angels got new Deathwing Terminators only because Terminators got an update. But even then, that's like the base upgrade, right? I don't know, maybe you'll get some Wolfguard Terminators. Man, some of the angles of these fangs are a pain. Quite a pain. Yeah, Pollux, it could very well mean that. Blood Angels getting new Assault Terminators. I'm curious about Sanguinary Guard more. So how do Sanguinary Guards scale right now? Are they on 32 millimeters? It feels to me like GW designed the Brutalis and Gladiator with those options specifically to cater to the Blood Angel sensibilities of the Furioso and Ball Predator. Yes, for the 32 on Sanguinary. Yeah, Sanguinary should be... Sanguinary Guard should be a big fucking deal. You know what I'm saying? They should be 40s. Like, if a Blade Guard veteran, you know what I'm saying, is on a 40, like, get out of here. Sanguinary Guard should be on that hefty 40 millimeter base. I could imagine they get a redo at some point. As for Blood Angel Terminators or Space Wolf Terminators, you know what? It could also be an upgrade sprue case. Because that's how the Deathwing Terminators are, right? In that box I got, it's the same Indomitus, not Indomitus, it's that same Leviathan sprue for the Terminators, and I think it's an upgrade sprue for your Deathwing accessories and... I think YouTube's a bit antsy with songs with vocals, so I'm gonna fast forward. Or jump ahead. Well, it seems okay. Seems okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. This isn't great. Okay. That's where we are now. Brutalis would likely a Death Company Dread conversion. Yeah, that's possible. You could also see a similar thing for Space Wolves Dreads. For the Murder Fang and such. I assume big attention won't be given to these Snowflake chapters until their big leaders come back, like Lehman Russ for the Wolves, obviously, and look, I wouldn't even suggest that I would want Sanguinius to come back, but I think they'll get a big leader in the Sanguinor. I think GW wants to give all the special Marines their 60mm characters. That is my tinfoil hat theory. It's honestly like an extrapolation because of Helbrecht. Why is the Helbrecht in such a big base? I think they want him to be a big centerpiece character. Absolutely, Zacharias. Bring Sanguinius back cheapens his sacrifice. I even think that having Sanguinor cheapens his sacrifice. That's that's a position I'm kind of saving for a spicy video at some point, maybe. What else? It absolutely would. Pollux, you're still waiting for another Raven Guard character and something for the Alpha Legion. Yeah, Chaos Space Marines should have a named character for each Legion. It would be the least they could do. And in 10th edition, look, Legions don't really exist in 10th edition, right? You can make a character for each Legion and it's available to all. Right? That's like the perfect... It's the most incentive GW could have from a playmaking point of view. But I think the models are in production far earlier than the editions. I don't know. Ferris did nothing and died. Yep. I think Ferris doesn't get a fair shake. He has a... He doesn't get a good flex the way the other Primarchs do. And the Horus Heresy, I feel like that was the opportunity to really give him a good showing, and he dies early on. Alright, I think these ectoplasmic cannons are adequate. So let's begin painting some Ultramarines colors. I got the GW Macragge Blue, Citadel Macragge Blue here, and I like to mix a little bit of light turquoise. Any brand will do. This is Vallejo model color. This just is a secondary layer to add a bit of vibrancy, because I find Ultramarines blue, like Macragge Blue on its own, is very dull. Alpha Legion have never gotten a single model in 40k. Yep, big sad, certainly. You'd want one. Like a cool sniper lord called Exodus, a character like that. It'd be nice if each of the Chaos Space Marine Legions had a survivor. A survivor character like Karn, Typhus, Araman, etc. Then they'd all feel a bit... Look, obviously, the 4 God-marked legions are special snowflakes that get extra attention. But if you had a named legacy character, it would help shore that up a bit. At least you have your Exodus. And maybe it's not the same Exodus. Who's to say, right? It's Alpha Legion. Or maybe it is. Oh yeah, Verado. That's a sweet theory for the Ferris as a Legion of the Damned, like an avatar almost like an elder avatar, just like a manifestation of his will, of his wrath. Very cool. It is quite cool. Okay, let's see what we can do here with this Ultramarine store. Just gonna kind of, I guess it's a stippling sort of, not going for a clean pass, because I figure weathering, right? Doesn't necessitate perfection, so why bother? Oh, tell me more about Solomon and Occam. Occam the Unshrewd. This is from some of the newer Alpha Legion novels. Yeah, the darkest parts of Sanguinius residing in Mephiston. So it's hard. It's hard for me to get on board with this. It just feels like they want Mephiston to be so fucking cool, and I'm like, okay. I got that kind of sentiment while reading Devastation of Vol, or listening to Devastation of Vol. I guess Mephiston is cool. Like, look, I'm not. I don't want to fight people on how cool Mephiston is. I guess he's cool. I guess he's a cool guy. I don't know. It's what it is. He's maybe too cool for me. I think that's just what it is. I want to get a decal going for this door. Maybe a small shoulder pad sized U. Crap! Every time I don't bring my knife here. I'll be back real quick. Always leave my knife just out of reach. Okay. I guess we want a smaller U. These ones look pretty huge. You know, like, okay, look, Pollux, your example about Sanguinius jumping out of a ship and and destroying a whole Tyranid, like, flying monstrosity or whatever. I can't remember the details, but I'm pretty sure that was in Devastation of Baal. Yeah, that is the most anime thing ever, and I don't know. I hear anecdotes and tidbits of, oh, Sanguinius, or not Sanguinius, Mephiston sees an enemy aircraft overhead and stops the pilot's heart, and I just roll my eyes. I'm just like, this is so lame to me. He's just so amazing. I think Araman's guilty of that stuff too. Yeah, not Sanguinius, Mephiston. I might have misspoke. I meant Mephiston, as you mentioned. And then my guy beats them down in a cool, spectacular way that totally beats out your guys. Nuh-uh. Exactly, Verado. That's the kind of energy I'm talking about. I don't know, man. Something about the way, I think it was Guy Haley who wrote Devastation of Baal? The way he depicted Sanguinius. I'm just like, oh my god. And I like Guy Haley most of the time, but I guess that maybe that's orders from HQ. You gotta make Mephiston super cool. I don't, I don't identify as a Chaos player. I dabble. I'm a pretty diverse player of factions. Uh-oh. Might have softened this decal a bit too much. Yeah, I goofed the floof on that one. That's a wasted decal. my John Cena has an Iron Man force field, yeah. I mean, he's the only Marine to overcome the Black Ridge twice. Yeah, that's... I don't know, that's what I mean. It's like... I guess he's just the best. I don't know, I just... And maybe other characters that are supposed to be awesome also have similarly tasteful feats that I'm just not aware of, right? Like maybe Calgar does some insane shit too on the regular, and it just hasn't come under my purview. It's totally possible, right? Vulcanistan, all those guys, right? Helbrecht, I'm sure Helbrecht has some crazy feats like that, right? Like I'm sure High Marshal Helbrecht has like looked at someone and stopped their heart, like for sure. Look, I'm not trying to stop anyone from liking Mephiston. If I was a Blood Angels player, I think I would like him still, but I would just kind of acknowledge, like, yeah, he's kind of like favorited a little bit. He has some pretty wild feats, but there's still a cool character concept, and you know, a legacy character that's worth liking. I'm not here trying to stop anyone from liking the characters that they've become attached to. I think similarly of the Space Wolves, right? Like when I read Wolf Time, or The Wolf Time, I like lost so much. It was so hard for me to like Logan Grimnar because he had such a poor showing in that book, and you know, I would find myself feeling similar as I'm talking about Mephiston now. However, if you're a Space Wolves guy, like there's a version of Logan Grimnar that's really fucking cool, right? And it's just an adaptation thing. In the Wolf Time, Logan Grimnar just had a really bad interpretation of his character, right? The only other character who is described as OP as Mephiston is Sigismund? Yeah, I suppose so. I haven't read any of his Horus Heresy stuff, but from what I gather, talking with pals and book summaries and all that, he seems to be pretty OP, pretty strong. I think it's the Psychers. Like, how do you, because I think Ahriman has the same kinds of feats as Mephiston. Some wild magic, unfair bullshit, right? They put spells on people from afar and they're just busted. So maybe it's more of a magic thing. Because as far as I'm aware, Sigismund's an awesome duelist, right? Like, he goes around the battlefield claiming names, but it's, he has to get there, right? He's not stopping the hearts of enemy pilots from the ground as they're flying overhead. How's it going, Misfit? How's it going? We're talking about Cool character feats in the lore. Cool it being the operative word. Alright, we'll let this decal dry. Maybe I'll layer up the... We'll come back to this decal because it's a bit too pristine, obviously. But I'll start working on that Phobos head in the meantime. So now Sigismund's skills are referred to rival a Primarch's, but I assume he would just lose to them in a duel due to the power disparity, right? But his skill at arms, he's an outlier, an exception. I like to use game terms. He's still fighting at Marine strength. Which is, you know, I guess you can have those outliers. You know what? The more I think about it, the more I think it's a psychic issue. These psychers, man, with their mind bullets, it's just so... it's so over the top. I put that blue on there pretty heavy. Pretty heavy. Uh-oh. There we go. Okay, so what do I want to do with this this U? I guess we'll stipple on some red. We'll mix it into my Ultramarines blue a little bit. We grime it up a little bit. And we stipple that in and around. Nice, Misfit. You got your order in. It's always a fun day to get a package you've been waiting for. A little bit of that childhood wonderment. A little gift in the mail. It's like a gift to yourself. Sig was on par with Abaddon, who had the power of chaos behind him. This is true. Yeah, you always get the argument point around how Sigismund was old. Abaddon only beat him because Sigismund got old and Abaddon was young in the warp. Or not in the warp, but in the Eye of Terror, his time doesn't flow the same way. So I'm gonna get a little bit of wash and just wash over that Ultramarines U because it's a little too white still. We'll see what this does. It should help. It should help. I think the time is approaching for a new palette paper. That's for sure. What's up, yawning hamster? Yes, wash the symbol indeed. I think I did that since reading your message, but hopefully it's more tasteful now. We'll check up on our other helmet, and I think after that, these guys are basically done. I could put a little bit of soot on the smokestacks. That's an option. A little bit of a dry brush or a wet, semi dry brush, like a moist, a moist brush, if you will. How's it going, Silver Scratch Built? How's it going? Thanks for tuning in. What are you up to? Are you joining in the hobby camaraderie? I see there are 9 viewers in chat. 9 concurrent viewers of the stream. If you could smash that like button. What is this? Is this WarioWare? I don't know if this vocals is bad for YouTube or not. It could be. It could be. I guess we want some red, some dark red eye lenses. For the Ultramarines helmet, right? We'll use some of our Mechrite. Though it is kind of a valuable resource. Probably shouldn't be using it. Just put in some dark red paint on the eye areas, and that should it should be adequate, I think. May require a bit of cleanup. We'll see once it dries. Chat full of Smash Captains versus like button. Nice. Building a Marvel Crisis Protocol city block? That is awesome. Man, Marvel Crisis Protocol is such a good game. I mean, I played it a few times, so I'm enamored with it. Let's say that. Let's say that. I like Marvel Crisis Protocol. You get to have fun with all the characters of the MCU, except they're not bad. You know? To get a bit more black on the palette, the remnants that's left on my palette from last time is dead. Can't really get any more out of it. Yeah, look at all this soot. Much better. This is also an excellent way to kill a paintbrush. FYI, if anyone's interested. Oh man, these Persona tracks back to back. Sounds like it. Like, there's no way to be sure. This video doesn't display the song artwork. Oops. Didn't mean to attack the camera there. Oh, Zacharias, don't mention my trigger word. Space Marine 2. I'm pumped. I hope my PC can stream it at a adequate level of fidelity. That could be fun. But regardless, I'm pumped for the game. Oh man. Oh boy, when you see those trailers and you can see you can customize your Space Marine, I'm like, ah, yes. It's delivering what I wanted. I just want to build a Firekeeper's avatar and live the dream, you know? It's gonna be good. Okay, I think it's a subtle difference, but speaking to our conversation yesterday in chat, talking about muzzle burns and all of that. I think it adds that level of immersion, that level of believability. Selling the idea it is a functional material. And this brush is this brush is gonna get wrecked. It's okay. It has served me for a while. Just close my my paint pot and look at that. Risky business. That could have been disastrous. I don't think any got on the model, thankfully. Good lord. Looks like I just blued myself. Well, let's not make that joke with this color. Okay, there's one last detail I want to add some soot to. This left remnants of a flame cannon. I'll put a few heavy washes over top first. I do have Seraphim Sepia, which will work for a muzzle burn, as will... What do I have here? Poxwalker? No, Colia Green Shade. That might be okay. Really, I want a blue or a purple. Which I don't have here. Should be okay though. It should work just fine. It is just a basing element anyways. Not like it's a turret on a cannon, or sorry, a turret on a tank model or anything like that, right? It's not a focal point. It's not the laser destroyer of a gladiator we're talking about. Let's put sepia on here first. When that dries, I'll put some Colia green shade, and then we'll make the end black, and that should suffice. I suppose while they dry, I could rim their bases. That is an option. Gotta rim your bases, man. Look how much better that looks. So clean. So clean. So pristine. Definitely makes your models look way better. Alright, is this sepia dry enough? Probably not. Probably not. Heading out, Zacharias? Well, you take care. Have a good evening, and thanks for dropping by. Much appreciated. Much appreciated. Look, the goblin green bases have their charm. I get it. And if you commit to painting your armies with goblin green bases, then you don't have to buy a gaming mat. You just paint your table goblin green and say, "Look, this is how we do it here." Paint your paint your bases to match. A fake grass mat to play with the goblin green bases? Nice. There's a heavy helping of the Colia green shade. We're just gonna put that about halfway up. And I'm just gonna break the edge a little bit, create a little blend. How's our other guy looking? Nearly dry. Sweet. Well, I think that's all the painting I'll be doing. Well, I want to apply some soot to that flamer, so I'll keep the palette here. But I can put the paints away. So we're on track for a shorter stream. We're on track for a shorter stream today, which is okay. I may start modifying a possessed banner bearer that I think I shared it on Instagram, but not on the YouTubes. Oh no, I think I did share on YouTube via a post, and someone commented that I should tear up the flag a bit, and I thought that was an excellent idea. However, I forgot, and so I primed it anyways. But I want to go back and wreck the flag, wear it down a little bit. Mostly just carve out the edges with my knife. Is this adequate? Maybe that isn't for today. I think trying to do such a task with a fairly worn blade is gonna backfire. So we'll just chill out. We'll just chill out here and finish off this base once it's dry. Let me see if I can grab those possessed from nearby, and I don't know, I guess I'll show them to you guys while this dries. Oh, something else I can show about them is I got this cool, like, base tray from my buddy Army. He has an FDM 3D printer, and it's kind of cool. You don't have to magnetize each base. You just put some magnets on the bottom, and the guys stay in there. Pretty neat. It's beveled, so it holds the bases. It's pretty cool. Yeah, so that's the banner man, but you can see his banner's pretty pristine. It's not, I think, some frayed edges towards the bottom would, for one, separate it from the exact same base model my Firekeeper's banner uses, which is a plus, should they ever meet on the battlefield. And, you know, Chaos looks better when it's a little torn up, a little more worn, right? Yeah, the other guys in the squad are pretty basic. No special modifications, really. But I think this banner could be really cool. Standing on an Ultramarine too. It's so so cinematic. And he's holding it with his spider arm. I think it's neat as well, Verado. Alright, I think this is dry enough to do some basin. I think it's dry enough to do a little bit of black powder kind of weathering. I think that's better. That's better. Yeah, quite a handsome Forge Fiend, right? I should probably do some turnarounds, capture some rotations of these guys at some point. What time are we at? 9 p.m. maybe we'll go for another 30 minutes. Now that I have the Possessed Stone, I kind of want to start base coating him. We'll just slide him out. Well, we only need one for now. We'll see how the speed goes. Where's my Screamer pick? Here it is. Alright, so let's apply a base coat of the Wordbearer's armor color in a fairly messy, uncontrolled fashion. Which I think these handles are better for. Oh, how's it going, Pyro? And Outer Circle, what's up? Thanks for dropping by. I appreciate the checking in. A question because you missed it. Do I use oils for my Grimdark or just muted colors? I use... I use muted colors. I don't dabble with oils. Sorry, Outer Circle, I just saw your comment. I just read it, I mean. Possessed are cool, but did they have Brutal 3? No, I saw everybody. For the whole 10 viewers, okay? If you want a good laugh, go check out Outer Circle's video where he compares Ferrus Manus and Vulcan in 30K. Yeah, Possessed don't have Brutal 3, I'm afraid. They're suspiciously weak, in my opinion. And my tinfoil hat theory as to why is because GW does not want Wordbearer's things to be cool, because I didn't give Wordbearers a proper detachment. So we'll just make Possessed worse, Masters of Possession worse. Everything adjacent to Wordbearers. And if you want your demon engines to be cool, or your cultists to be cool, you have to play a different detachment that restricts benefits only to those units. So, it's lame. Super lame. I've only used oils once on a terrain piece for weathering. But generally I'm not... I don't know, it's a bit too involved of a process for me. I kind of like jamming with a brush, you know? Getting into the spirits, and then you need your... I don't know. I'm just not all too spiritual of a guy, you know? So... Okay, we're gonna use some Foundation Mechrite Red and just mix it in with the black on my palette here. And that should yield a base color that is reasonably close to what I've been working with. I've mixed in some glaze medium from Vallejo as well. Oh yeah, I moved my camera for the demon engines, so the camera's a bit further back. I'll try and compensate. Oh, this guy is, sometimes I don't know if possessed are armored or if they just got skin on. No, like what areas are armor and what areas are skin? Or demonic mutation, demonic flesh. That skull will probably be metallic, I think, so I'll leave it. A grimdark style of blue. A good muted style blue. I guess if you want a grimdark aesthetic, I think you want matte paints, not satin like the Citadel brand. I think you want like scale 75 paints are all. I think they're all matte finish. I think the lack of luster helps with matte schemes. Or sorry, with grimdark schemes. What other options are there? As for colors, I think you want low value, high saturation. But I'm kind of a sucker for saturation. I like pop colors. I like colors on my models. You could consider AK's like dark Prussian blue. I like that color a lot. It isn't. It has a bit of a luster to it though, but I think there's something to that color. I used it in... What video did I use it in where I was bigging it up? Oh, the video I did with Sultan. Well, the collab, the model exchange video I did with Sultan Plays. Where I painted a model in his custom chapter color scheme. And I used Prussian blue as a base from AK. And I just thought it was a wicked color. Like, what a nice paint that is. And you can see exactly what I'm referring to in that video. You could also consider using more, not model color or fantasy colors, but more military hobby colors, right? Like from historical games. Like Vallejo has two ranges of color, right? Game color, which is more for fantasy and sci-fi, more silly stuff in air quotes, right? And then they have their model color, which is more muted. Oh, those are all interesting avenues. I generally don't go too heavy into the grimdark and the weathering, honestly. I'm kind of guilty of under-weathering at times. Many of my firekeepers are very pristine, very parade ready. Just catching up on chat now. Yep, Pyro, you could use a matte varnish after the fact. That's fine. It'll yield the same result, but for me, while I'm working with a model and trying to develop the aesthetic as I'm painting, it's hard to evaluate without seeing how the light's interacting with the finish. So for me, for a workflow thing, if I want a matte finish, for an aesthetic, not for protection or anything like that, I kind of like being able to work with it while I'm building up the look. It's a small thing. Not a deal breaker. I guess that's the pro and the con to it. AK paints are your current favorite? Yeah, Verado. I have 2 AK paints. So I was dabbling. I was doing a bit of dabbling on the side. And I was very impressed. Let's love this guy's arm, man. The new Possessed are really good looking. Really good looking. Is it under the Let's Paint series? Yes, Pyro. I think if you search, I don't know. I haven't searched for my own videos, so I don't know. If you search for, if you search my channel for Sultan Plays, I think you'll find it. It's an excellent question. How do you find it? It should be under the hobby track. Because it is a hobby video. Yeah, if you check my hobby track playlist, it should be there, I want to say. If it's not, my humblest apologies for sending you on a wild goose chase. It's there? Perfect, Pyro. Perfect. Yeah. AK's Prussian Blue. Oh, man. What a color. Like, I chose it for the Sultan paint video as... I just wanted a dark blue, and I figured as an experiment point, I'll try out, this paint from AK. So most of that luster is lost in the end model. Though I think the end result model is quite good. But it doesn't have that luster that you see during the initial Prussian blue step. Yeah, Sultan's model, or his scheme rather, the quartered look, man. The quartered look has a charm to it. In the same way it's less cheesy than the Goblin Green bases. But it's like nostalgic, those quartered schemes, in a similar way. I see a quartered Space Marine and I'm like, oh man, so classy. And I think if you're a successor chapter with any sort of knightly bend, the quartered look can really work for you. Especially if, like me, I like to satisfy the color conditions relative to the parent chapter. So in that respect, the quartered color scheme, it's if you want to pay homage to the salamanders, you can be quartered with green and something else. It's pretty cool. Oh, you actually have the Prussian blue paint. Well then, maybe that's, maybe it's a sign. Maybe it's a sign you should use it. Actually, I don't know. I don't know if it's... It depends what you're looking for from a Grimdark scheme. That kind of luster it has? I don't know what to call that kind of effect. Maybe it's not to your Grimdark sensibilities. It's funny you mentioned that, Veretto. The two paints I have from Maykaint that I picked up by chance were a yellow and Prussian blue. And I thought the yellow was pretty good. I feel like that's the test, you know? The test of a paint range. Yellow. It's like, yeah, you got a nice red, okay? But show me your yellow. This guy has barely any armor on. He is consumed by the demon. I'm not gonna paint the banner guy, unfortunately, because I wanna have a go at him with a knife. Yeah, a good white and a good yellow. Both are difficult. What white's yellow's like a... It's like a boss, but a white paint's like the final boss of a paint range. If you can nail a good white paint, I'm impressed. Actually, if you guys know, I'm all ears, because I've yet to find one. I've been using off-white as a crutch for the longest time. And I don't think it's necessarily bad. But I'd just be interested to see if there's if someone's cracked the code. Yep, white ink for Zenithal Airbrush sounds smart. Pro Acryl and AK make good ones. Okay, you know what? I'll keep that in mind. That's one thing I need more paints. Inks are something you fall in love with? I think I am feeling similar towards inks. I picked up a white ink recently. Nothing fancy, just Liquitex. I've used up quite a few, but mostly for washes. But through an airbrush, it's interesting. Definitely interesting. Want to thin them down? I'll keep that in mind. Yeah, inks are pretty potent. Even for like washes, I end up toning them down because they're... I say washes. I apply them like a wash, but it's really for glazing. We be glazing. Well, what's up with this guy's head? Is it a helmet or is it a demon head? Do I paint it armor color? The bottom half is certainly helmet. Maybe just go armor color to a blend out here. That could look really cool. Will it blend? Very nice, Verado. Very nice. It sounds like you're describing the kind of well, it's I see it fairly often on my Instagram feed. This kind of OSL effect using inks through an airbrush. And if you're talking or if you're speaking to what I'm thinking of, yeah, that's a wicked effect. And like once you know how to get it, it seems like it's fairly easy. Once you're familiar with the execution, I mean. Yeah, no worries, Brett. I wasn't insinuating that you plucked it from Instagram. It's a good effect, and I think it's a fairly logical one for people who are familiar with inks and the way they flow. Alright, well, don't want to put any paint on the banner, guys, so I think I'm going to wrap her up here. Let's maybe put the Forge Fiends on frame for the outro. I think they turned out great. Well, if you made it to the end of the stream, you guys are the real hobby heroes. Thanks for joining me and sharing the hobby camaraderie. Thanks to everyone who liked the stream also. And tomorrow I'll probably be streaming and working on the Possessed I was dabbling on towards the end of this stream. So until then, you guys live that hobby life, and I'll catch you in the next one.